Beautiful souls. Happy Earth Day 2019. To celebrate, I thought I would share with you today a passage from my book, Conversations with a Tree. And the link to purchase the book is below the video. This book came about when I was living in Nova Scotia in 2012, and I found a trail close to my home that I used to go to very often. And at the time I had a very dedicated practice of meditating and channeling, and I think that may have led to what happened when I was sitting at the base of a hemlock tree, and I suddenly knew that this tree was asking me to be her scribe. And I was very honored, and yet I had no idea the impact that this would have on me. I knew that she wanted her wisdom and her messages to be put together in a book, but I had no idea how much it was going to help and support me in a very challenging time in my life. And so the messages that came through this tree are deeply profound and very simple. And I think often simplicity can be the way, and yet our minds like to complicate things so much that we don't often take in the significance. So I just invite you to really listen to this message, and you can also go to my website, which will be linked below as well, to actually read this message if you prefer to be able to read it. It's in one of the blog links. And just take it in and let the wisdom settle in. So here is one of my favorite messages from Henrietta the tree. So I went to the trail often to visit, to receive the messages, and just to be in her presence. I could have connected with her from home, but it was much more pleasant to be there on the trail. And so she started to feel like a friend to me. So one day I approached her as I would any friend, and I said, "How are you, Henrietta?" And this was her response. "Asking a tree, how are you, is a silly question. We have only one way of being, and that is being. We do not have good days and bad days. We are, we exist, that is it. We witness that which is unfolding around us. We are aware of the noise of the saw, and see that home repairs are happening close by. We notice a person walk by, and observe their thoughts and emotions as they pass. We soak up the sunlight and feel the synthesis within ourselves. This is our existence. Because we do not move, we cannot run away from what is, as humans do. If someone approaches us with saw in hand, we realize that we are about to serve the earth in a different way, perhaps as firewood to warm the hearts of those who gather round the stove. They are warmed by our embers, with no thanks for what we have offered. It is not that we need the thanks, for we are happy to serve in whatever way creation brings to us. But mankind would do well to have appreciation for its own evolution, its own connection to the all that is. It is the loss of this connection that is a great part of the demise of humanity. For you see, we are part of the Creator itself, as you are. I'm just going to grab my glasses. We are part of the natural world that holds the core essence of the creative force of God, or all that is. By connecting with us, you are connecting with the origins of your soul. And so, as humans consume that which is derived from the natural world, it would serve them well to consider their good fortune in having this natural product to consume. Humanity, in its evolution away from the light, has allowed itself to become very disconnected from the essence of nature. In its place is a yearning, but no true understanding of what one is yearning for. The quest for connection has led to addictions. The empty soul seeks pleasure through lust, alcohol, drugs, TV. The list goes on. And it goes on because soul satisfaction does not come from these things. The deep yearning is for your true nature, your nature as humans connected to the divine. We are here to serve you. It is our greatest pleasure to support you in whatever way we can. Thankfully for us, the trees, we have our connection to Mother Earth. She sustains us as we do her. She appreciates what we offer to her carefully planned ecosystems. She is the Great Mother, always looking to improve and grow spiritually so that she can lead her children to ever greater heights. And so, as we reach into the heavens, we are also deeply anchored into the earth. Our roots spread to embrace our Mother Earth, and our branches reach up to praise our Father Sun. We are balance on this earth. Those who are in the cities are lost to this way of being. Therefore it is those who live among us, the trees, who will be the first to see the way out of darkness. It is those who appreciate the beauty around them who also reflect that beauty from their hearts. They are the ones who will lead all of humanity out of the darkness. And so, as you sit at my base, remember these words. Life is precious. It can pass in a fleeting moment. Is it worth the headache and heartache that is your current way of being? Those who have stepped out of the rat race know the difference. Those who have stepped away from materialism are finding their way back to their hearts. It is not a big mystery. It is surrender. Surrender your life to simplicity. Stop running. Anchor yourself into the earth. Then your heart will be filled with joy. As you honor the earth and her creations, you will be honoring yourself. In honoring yourself in this way, you will feel the wholeness of all life begin to bubble up in your essence. The deep yearning and emptiness will be replaced by fulfillment and wonder. Sadness will fall away to joy as you remember your true essence. This awaits you, but you must make the choice. You can let the idea of having to sacrifice your current life keep you from this choice, or you can realize that the only life worth living awaits you, and moving toward it is not sacrifice, but wisdom. We are deeply delighted with the opportunity to share this knowledge with you today. That is one of my favorite messages from Henrietta, so powerful. And one thing I learned in research when I was writing this book is that the happiest people in the world are the ones who have less belongings. They are in some of the poorest countries in the world. And I think it speaks to that simplicity of life that materialism and technology has taken us away from. And other research shows that when we're in nature, people actually become more kind to one another and more generous in their spirit. And I know myself, I feel more authentic and true to myself and also less critical of myself. It's like when I'm in nature, my true self can flourish there and there's no expectations aside from that. So I encourage you this Earth Day, what a wonderful way to celebrate by purchasing this book and finding out why some people who purchased this book actually very quickly started to develop their own connections with one woman. It was a shrub. She was in her late 60s, this woman, and this was totally out of her radar, anything she had ever done. And she was so moved by the book, she started connecting with a little shrub that someone had planted at her apartment complex. And she would get up at 5 in the morning to water it because she noticed it wasn't being cared for. And I can only assume she was a bit shy about being seen caring for this plant. And soon it started to communicate with her. So when we know what's possible, things can open up very quickly. And the more we share our connection, our deep connection with the earth, because I know so many people have such a deep connection with trees, but it's so put down or laughed at in our society to share that connection that people are very hesitant. And I think it's really important for us to begin to normalize this process of us being part of all of nature. And we're moving into a time where we are going to be communicating more telepathically. It's not just people like myself who can do this. We can all do this, but we've just been socialized out of acknowledging that and recognizing that. So the more people begin to connect in this way, the more it's going to be commonplace for us to open up. And the more that we come to appreciate trees and the forest, the more we're going to do to protect this land, which obviously moves me. It's important. The old growth forest in British Columbia where I live is being cut down. It's not a sustainable resource. We cannot replace these ancient trees. The conditions that grew them will never be the same again. And I do wish that the industry that is doing this would project into the time when they've cut down all these ancient trees. What are they going to do then? They're going to have to find a way to replace this resource. Well, why not find that way now? Anyway, as we all connect more fully with nature, we will all strive more to bring this about. And the more of us who open up to this and share, the more that energy of appreciation for nature and finding our own true selves once again in nature will be prominent in the world. So thank you for being present. Happy Earth Day. Sending you so much love this day. May it be full of blessings.